Yes, you've been listening to Victor Jara, A Worker's Prayer. We brought you the latest news. In Chile, a former soldier indicted in charges of involvement in the 1973 killing of Victor Jara, just days after the U.S.-backed overthrow of the democratically elected leader Salvador Allende. Adolfo Paredes Marquez has admitted to involvement but denied pulling the trigger. You can go to our headlines to get that story. Our guest for the hour is Eduardo Galeano, the great writer and journalist. He is up from Uruguay. His new book is called Mirror, Stories of Almost Everyone. I'm Amy Goodman with Juan Gonzalez. That question of Barack Obama being handed by President Hugo Chavez, Open Veins of Latin America, your classic work, what you would like him to learn from this book, President Obama.
No, I don't want to teach anybody anything. Never. I even insisted last evening when I was talking at that theater.
At the Ethical Culture Society.
Yes. The fact that I would be glad if Obama and all the USA progressive governors or people here begin to change the word leadership by the word friendship. Because leadership implies that there is someone above the other ones. And the real human relationships, the real ones, are horizontal, not vertical. Solidarity instead of charity. And no orders and no classes to receive from anyone, because the northern world acts as if God would make them the teachers of the South, and they are taking examination all the time. To Venezuela, for instance. Is it really a democratic country? We'll decide, because we are the teachers on democracy. And paradoxically, the teachers on democracy are the factories of military dictatorships. I mean, the United States, and not only the United States, also some European countries have spread military dictatorships all over the world, and they feel as if they are able to teach democracy. So I don't want to teach anything to anybody. I just want to tell stories deserve to be told. That's all.
Well, tell us a story of Open Veins before we get to readings of Mirrors.
It's a funny story. I may tell you. When you were saying that the best promotion for Open Veins were the military dictatorships, which prohibited it, no? And burnt it. But in Uruguay, something really strange happened. In the first month of the military dictatorship, Open Veins entered freely in the military jails, because the censors, looking at the title, Open Veins of Latin America, thought it was a textbook on anatomy. A textbook on anatomy. And so the medicine books were not forbidden, and the books entered during 5 or 6 months. And afterward, they
somebody read it.
Noticed that something was not exactly that.
Well, and would you say this issue of leadership versus Latin America obviously has changed dramatically, and the American people in their election and more or less sort of followed a trend that was already going on in Latin America. Your own country has changed dramatically. Can you talk about that? What has happened now that
there is a new energy, which is not new at all. I think that history never ends. Some histories inside history have no happy ends, have unhappy ends, but history doesn't end. She's a stubborn lady, and she goes on walking, sometimes crying, sometimes laughing, but it never ends. When history says goodbye, history is really saying, see you later, see you soon. So this is like a subterranean river who went on, fluent, and nowadays is reappearing with very important energy coming from from people, from de abajo a arriba. How is it? From
below to
above. Up. Yes, and not on the other side, on the other way.
Trickle up, not trickle down.
I have an engineer, a friend of mine, who say, lo único que se hace desde arriba son los pozos. The only thing that you can make from up to down are holes. And it's true. All the other things are created from the bottom. And that's the way it's going to be done, and it's already going on doing in several Latin American countries, which is good news indeed for the world.
Eduardo Galeano, can you read from Mirror stories of almost everyone? You choose.
I begin with the story of this cover. I mean, what's this? This image, so beautiful image. Where does it come from? And what does it mean? And the story is inside the book, in page 267, I think, yes, 267. West African sculptors have always sung while they worked, and they do not stop singing until their sculptures are finished. That way the music gets inside the carvings and keeps on singing. In 1910, Leo Frobenius found ancient sculptures on the Slave Coast that made his eyes bulge. Their beauty was such that the German explorer believed they were Greek, brought from Athens, or perhaps from the lost Atlantis. And his colleagues agreed, Africa, daughter of scorn, mother of slaves, could not have produced such marvels like this one. But it did, though. And those music-filled effigies had become sculptured a few centuries previous in the belly button of the world, in Ife, the sacred place where the Yoruba gods gave birth to women and men. Africa turned out to be an unending wellspring of art, worth celebrating and worth stealing. It seems Paul Gauguin, a rather absent-minded fellow, put his name on a couple of sculptures from the Congo, and the error was contagious. From then on, Picasso, Modigliani, Klee, Giacometti, Ernst, Moore, and many other European artists made the same mistake, and did so with alarming frequency. Pillaged by its colonial masters, Africa would never know how responsible it was for the most astonishing achievements in 20th century European art.
One of the amazing things to me in your writing is how you're able to get a nugget of historical fact that has been largely overlooked by others, and then weave it into a story that really sort of shines a spotlight on an aspect of human conflict that others have not paid attention to. One that struck me especially was the origin of concentration camps that you wrote, which relates very much to the last one you wrote about Africa. I'm wondering if you could read that
camps,
one.
Yes, let me see where it is. 243, yes. This is also an unknown story, because this book comes from 600 unknown stories, or at least not so known as they deserve to be, because there are stories about the invisibles, women, black, Indians, the south of the world, China, India, who knows? Who knows? we are much more than we are told we are, than we were told we are. The human terrestrial rainbow with so many colors, mutilated by racism. And this is another story about racism. When Obama was elected, I wrote an article months ago, remembering that the White House was built by black hands, and asking him, please, do not forget it.